Assalamualaikum and hello to Ms. Nur Farahida. So our group represent about any metal industry employing more than 100 employees. So our group consists Nur Syahada binti Ahmad, Nur Dila binti Usman, Siti Rabiatul Adawa binti Muhammad Ridwan, Muhammad Arif bin Abdurrahman, Sean Nizan, and me, Siti Nur Hikmah binti Hamidan. So I will pass to the next presenter, Muhammad Arif Senior.
Okay, for company background, has three types: small, medium-sized enterprise of iron furniture manufacturing unit are combined few small companies that mostly have 10 workers. Their main product is iron furniture, like 40 sector, be more too dangerous as welding set, grinder, and anything related iron work. Third, some owners take a risky solution for their problems due to high demand in their sector. Example, hire women and underage kids, and did not register some of their workers' medical care facilities. Next.
The objective of this report is stated below, to identify the hazard in this sector towards workers. Then to highlight the effect of this hazard to everyone in all these companies, and to propose a suitable control measure for an exciting hazard at these sectors. That's all for objectives.
Okay, so for detailed explanation on risk assessment, so the first one is to identify the situation and processes that may cause harm to the worker, whether a small or medium-sized enterprise. So the second one is to analyze and evaluate the situation and processes that have been made. So the risk assessment term that used in this situation. So the first one is to identify hazard and risk factor that can cause harm, analyze and evaluate risk, plan the appropriate ways to eliminate hazard and control of risk. So how to, there are 5 types of hazard identification. So the first one is risk assessment. Second one is hazard identification. The third one is risk analysis. The fourth is risk evaluation, and the last is risk control.
So this is risk assessment. So we highlight the process of welding for the witnesses in a small and medium-sized enterprise of iron furniture manufacturing unit. So the first step is press the metal part and the workstation that has been grounded. Adjust the knob and set the suitable voltage on the main panel. Fill the electrode into the holder. Point the electrode to metal part. Scrape the electrode onto the metal part surface to heat up the electrode. Begin the welding process until complete. Cool down and clean up the thread after welding job is completely done. And lastly is send the complete metal part for inspection or to use.
So for risk matrix table is a result of types of risk that workers face at workplace. The function of risk matrix is to determine the risk level towards workers while doing their tasks at workplace. The risk level can be identified by severity level and likelihood level. If the number is high, it means more dangerous to workers at workplace. So we can see here in the table, there are 3 types colors, which is green, yellow, and red. So for green color is low risk, yellow color is medium, and red color is low risk, it starts from number 1 until 4. Medium risk is 5 until 12, and high risk it is start from 15 until 25. So action taken to for high risk, it requires the immediate action to control the hazard as detailed in the hierarchy of control. Action taken must be documented on the risk assessment risk assessment form, including that for completion. For medium risk requires a planned approach to controlling the hazard and applies temporary measure if required. Action taken must be documented also on the risk assessment form, including that for completion. For a low risk, um, a risk identification as low may be considered as acceptable and further reduction may not be necessary. However, if the risk can be resolved quickly and efficiently, control measures should be implemented and recorded.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. So I will continue the presentation with the likelihood and severity table based on the hierarchy guideline that have been approved by the DOSH. So this is the table for likelihood and severity that we use. For likelihood, we have a 5-step, which is most likely, possible, conceivable, remote, and inconceivable. For the severity, we have catastrophic, fatality, serious, minor, and negligible. This stage has been rated from 5 until 1. So the type of accident or incident that happened has been described like what you guys can see on the example. Next. Okay, this is the hazard and hierarchy of control that we have been identified based on the case that we use in this assignment. For safety hazard, we have found the worker touched a hot electrode with bare hand. And then the second one is they exposed to welding spark and infrared light. Third one is other equipment, electric cable and wire like laying on the ground. The last one for safety hazard is working in small area with high temperature. For health hazard, we have been highlighted 2 hazards, which is the first one is exposed to metal fumes, and the last one is exposed to ultraviolet or UV radiation. For control measure to overcome this risk towards the all worker in these enterprises, we have been used engineering control, administrative control, and PPE. Next.
So this is the hierarchy table. So the first hierarchy is for the work activity of welding is place the metal part and the workstation that has been grounded. So the hazard is working in small area with high temperature, which is sometimes safe, which can cause nausea, lack of oxygen, expose to hazardous substance, and cause entanglement. So in this case, there's no existing risk control. So the likelihood is 2, severity is 4, the risk is 8, which is in medium level. So the control measure that have been recommended is provide mechanical ventilation, isolation the worker that works with hazardous machines, provide training in all work with confined spaces to ensure that all employees are given suitable and appropriate training to carry out their workplace tasks. This will include emergency procedure, which is basic CPR. Apply employer should apply industry code of practice for safe working in a confined space, which I found in DOSH of ICOP 2010. And lastly is ensure your employees have safety shoes, goggles, safety helmet, gloves, overalls for practical session. This is for practice to use the PPE, safety vest, and respirator. Next. presenter.
For hierarchy number 2, the work activity is scratch the electrode on the metal part surface to heat up the electrode. So the hazard that we can identify from this jobs activity is the workers is exposed to metal fume, which can cause skin allergies, respiratory problems, and metal fumes fever. The likelihood for this incident is 3, while the severity is 2. So the risk towards the workers is 6. So the recommended control measure that we have been uh, proposed to overcome this problem is there must be a local exhaust ventilation is the preferred method to ventilation to capture the fumes at the source and is removed from the workplace. This has been stated in OSHA 1994 in part 4, which is the general duties of employee and self-employed person. In the employer is responsible to provide provision and maintenance of a working environment so that the working environment cannot become very risky towards the worker. The second control measure is they must have an adequate housekeeping in workplace to make sure that their workplace is in safe and free from the hazard. The last one is to provide a respiratory protection, eye protection, and skin protection towards their worker. Next.
So for hierarchy number 3, the work activity is begin the welding process until complete. So the hazard that we identify is exposed to ultraviolet radiation, which can cause eyes and skin burns. So the likelihood for this risk is 3, severity is 2. This makes the risk is 6. So these are the recommended control measures that we have been provided. So all builders should receive training on safe use of equipment and processes, safe work practices, and emergency procedures. Employer must prepare a job rotation plan among their workers to reduce UV radiation exposed to the workers. So the eye protection should be provided by wearing a shield mask or helmets and goggles to slide and particles out of the eyes when removing your face shield. Next.
Okay, for hierarchy number 4, the work activity is fill or replace the electrode into holder, and the hazard is touch a hot electrode with the hand, which can cause burn skins and finger amputation. And for the likelihood, it's 3 and severity 3 and the risk is 9. And the recommended control measure is wearing a good condition protective leather welders glove. It provides the heat resistant and general hand protection.
So for work activity, hierarchy number 5 is begin the welding process until complete. The hazard is exposed to welding spark and infrared light. So it can cause or affect heat the lens of the eye and produce cataracts over the long term. The likelihood is 3, severity is 4, and risk is 12, this is so high. So recommended control measure is the worker should wear a helmet with filter lens and cover plate, and also wear approved safety glasses with side shield or goggles under helmet. And they are also use eyes and face protectors. So each class of eyes and face protectors is designed for a specific use. So for class 2C function on direct or non-ventilated goggles with non-ionizing radiation protection. Classes 3 and 4 are for welding helmets and hand shields, and Class 6B is for face shields for non-ionizing radiation protection.
For the last hierarchy, work activity, cool down and clean up the slag after welding. Job is completely end. Other equipment, electric cable and wire laying on the ground. Cause welders to slip and tripping that can lead toward minor to severe injuries. Another cause is injury while using a grinder to clean up the slag. For likelihood, 4. Severity is 3. Risk 12. Recommend countermeasure. Welding area must have a proper housekeeping. Place all equipment at suitable place and electric cable and wire must be arranged properly. They must have a fire blanket so that the fire splash do not out of the workplace area. So, done.
Okay, that's all for our presentation today from Group 3 about any matter industry employing more than 100 employees. Thank you.